Shrek 5 First Look, Disney Animation leaves Disney+, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit returns. All this and more in this edition of Cartoon News Roundup. Shrek 5 is finally on the way, and Universal have given us our very first look at the hotly anticipated movie. The mini teaser trailer sees the Shrek family crowding around the magic mirror as they discover their place in 2020's meme culture. It's a pretty meta gag that's perfectly in line with the franchise's style, and I think we all expected some Shrek meme gags from the upcoming film. The trailer also notably introduces us to a sort of new character of the Shrek gang, Shrek and Fiona's daughter, who the trailer reveals will be voiced by Zendaya, who joins the OG voice cast. This is a rumour that's been floating around for a week or so it's great to see this one confirmed. I'm also kind of interested to see whether Shrek and Fiona's other kids will be appearing in the movie here too, and who'll be voicing them. By the time this movie comes out in 2026, it will have been 16 years since the last Shrek installment, so it looks like Shrek 5 will be taking an accurate time jump, with Zendaya Shrek certainly looking to be in her mid-teens here. As a result, the rest of the Shrek family have seen a pretty significant visual overhaul. Of course, it's been rumoured for a while that the characters would take a new look for the new installment, which is part legacy sequel, part soft reboot, in the same vein as 2022's Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, which kicked off the brand new Shrek CU. So naturally, we were going to see some visual overhauls of the characters here to get them up to snuff with modern animation. But it is kind of interesting to see that the characters almost look a little aged up here, almost like they've taken a timeline-based approach to their overhaul, as they obviously have with the Zendaya Shrek character. Fiona looks much the same as she always has, but there's just something here that looks different. I can't quite put my finger on it, but she almost seems more granny-like. There's something in the oddly pursed lips and small gapped teeth that just makes her seem older. Shrek, on the other hand, somehow seems a little more realistic. There's definitely a definition to his skin that we've never seen before, and a huge detail put into the wrinkles on his brow and eyes. It definitely makes him look older too, but I'm also just feeling a little uncanny valley vibes here.
No.
He is certainly moderately uglier, which I think absolutely suits the character. Meanwhile, Donkey looks markedly older, more rugged and weathered. His hair is scruffy, he has a little tuft under his chin, he seems skinnier and just kind of overall dirtier. Generally, he just looks like he hasn't kept himself very well over the last 15 years. Oh, and Pinocchio was here too, and he just looks exactly the same as ever. Overall, I think one thing that stands out here is that the characters all seem markedly more expressive than ever before, and again, they all look quite a bit more realistic than ever before. I think that partly comes from new animation techniques allowing animators to do more with the characters, but also it's definitely the influence of the more contemporary, over-the-top style of hyper-animation that we've been getting in more recent times. To my senile millennial brain, who remembers seeing Shrek 1 in cinemas a quarter of a century ago, there's just something about this that looks off, but I absolutely understand the desire and frankly the need to mix things up for the modern audience. So I'm just kind of keen to see what they do here. James Gunn and Peter Safran, the co-chiefs of DC Studios, have provided some updates on their fledgling DC Universe slate of films and TV shows, announcing a handful of upcoming animated series. Firstly, we've got Dynamic Duo, an animated feature film which will focus on a team-up between the two Robins who fought alongside Batman, Dick Grayson and Jason Todd. Safran described it as providing a kind of perfect on-ramp for family audiences into the world of Gotham. Set for release in June 2028, the film is a co-production between DC, Warner Bros. Pictures Animation and Swaybox Studios. Blue Beetle is also set for a return, with an animated series continuing the adventures from the 2023 film, which is currently in development. Producers, including the director of the film, Angel Manuel Soto, are preparing a pitch for the studio. My Adventures with Green Lantern is also on the way, an action comedy series set in the same universe as the highly popular My Adventures with Superman. The series will follow high school student Jessica Cruz, whose life changes when a Green Lantern power ring falls from the sky and chooses her to be its champion. Things get even worse when more debris from the Lantern's ancient space war arrives, along with their alien foes. The series will be produced alongside Warner Bros. Animation. DC Superpowers is another younger skewing program which takes place at the Alliance School for Heroes and focuses on new students: Lightning, Flash, Plastic Man, Aquagirl, Green Lantern, and Terra, who level up their powers under the supervision of Principal Martian Manhunter in the hopes of one day graduating and becoming the next generation of Earth's defenders. Likewise, it will be produced alongside Warner Bros. Animation. And Starfire will provide an origin story of the popular Teen Titans character and will follow her adventures after she uses an ancient spaceship she discovers on her home planet of Tamaran to escape her planet and explore the stars. Along the way, she'll meet space biker Crush, plant-loving Fern, and the magical Princess Amethyst of Gemworld, and together they will uncover the deepest reaches of the DC universe, save space dolphins, surf technicolor nebulas, and boldly soar into the unknown. Once again, it will be produced alongside Warner Bros. Animation. Disney Animation is officially leaving Disney Plus behind, with The Hollywood Reporter reporting that the animation studio will no longer produce long-form content for the streaming service. As a result, Disney have cancelled the long-awaited Princess and the Frog spin-off series Tiana, which was being prepped for Disney Plus. The series was first announced during Disney's Investor Day in 2020 and was said to be a traditionally animated musical follow-up to the 2019 animated classic. A logline for the series revealed that it would follow the newly crowned Princess of Maldonia on a new adventure, but her New Orleans past isn't far behind. Annika Noni Rose was set to reprise her role as Princess Tiana. The series was originally set for a 2023 release, but was later delayed to 2024 before being dropped from the release schedule altogether. Fans have been waiting for updates on the show for some time, so its cancellation really should come as no shock. Alongside Tiana, The Hollywood Reporter has revealed that a separate, unannounced feature-length production has also been cancelled at Walt Disney Animation. The shuttering of the project will result in numerous layoffs at Disney's recently opened studios in Vancouver. It's clear that Disney's studios have been wearing themselves very thin since the advent of Disney Plus, the most obvious example being Marvel Studios. The once king of the box office has, in recent times, released a number of highly divisive films and television series, with many commenting that the studio's focus on Disney Plus series has watered down and overcrowded the brand. Walt Disney Animation Studios, on the other hand, has likely realized that television series shouldn't be a core focus. In its 100-year history, the studio had never produced a series for television until recently. Notably, last year, Disney made a last-minute decision to rework their Moana sequel series into a sequel movie, as a result raking in over $1 billion at the global box office with Moana 2. Moana 2's success was most likely the final nail in Tiana's coffin, though The Hollywood Reporter notes that the series did go through numerous production difficulties and creative shakeups previously, saying, "Sources close to the streaming service say that despite best efforts, including several changes to the creative team, Tiana ultimately could not get to where it needed to be given production costs. Don't get too excited, this doesn't mean that Disney are shifting Tiana into a movie like they did with Moana. We're assured that this project is cancelled altogether." However, Hollywood Reporter has revealed that a separate Princess and the Frog project is in the works, saying, "The animation studio is said to be developing a separate short-form special inspired by The Princess and the Frog, which is currently in early development. Though details of the project remain under wraps, it's expected to feature all-new storytelling based on the 2009 film." Oddly, Disney only recently, quite controversially, rethemed Splash Mountain at Disneyland into a Princess and the Frog attraction, moving away from the Song of the South theming. Many believed that this was a move to give the property a more prominent presence in the parks ahead of the release of the series and a potential new movie. The collapse of Disney Plus as a viable business model has been slow but expected. A majority of the series Disney have pumped out have been lackluster, and the exclusive original movies have been, for the most part, bottom of the barrel. It's no surprise that Disney's mini studios are slowly opting out of Disney Plus original content. Marvel has slowed down their TV output, Pixar have also announced they'll no longer produce long-form content for the streamer, and Disney Live Action certainly isn't releasing as many original features as they were a few years ago. It's almost like Disney has finally realised the benefits of the box office by being burnt by the fad that is streaming. It certainly doesn't take a genius to see that the Disney Plus model was absolutely ruining Disney's brand. Walt Disney's original creation, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, the precursor to Mickey Mouse, is preparing to make his long-awaited, long-rumoured grand return. Deadline has reported that an Oswald series is currently in production for Disney Plus, with master filmmaker Jon Favreau at the helm. Deadline notes, over the last decade, Jon Favreau has been a linchpin of Disney Plus's original series slate, with flagship The Mandalorian and its offshoots, while also taking on classic Disney animated characters on the feature side, with the live-action, photorealistically animated The Jungle Book and the photorealistically animated The Lion King. Now he is combining the two with a new series in development at Disney Plus. The animation live-action hybrid is about Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, a saucy, self-absorbed bunny. Favreau is writing and producing the project from Walt Disney Studios. No other details about the project have been revealed, but fans will be incredibly excited to hear that Oswald's return seems closer than ever. Revealed as a live-action animated hybrid like Roger Rabbit or 2022's Rescue Rangers movie, which also went direct to Disney+, I think many fans will be excited by the idea, though many will be a little bit nervous about his debut in photorealistic animation. An Oswald series has been long rumoured for Disney+, with the company at one point looking to produce a new series of cartoon shorts similar to the Paul Rudish Mickey Mouse cartoons, though plans were ultimately scrapped. Oswald was, of course, Walt Disney and Up Iwerks' first cartoon star, debuting in 1927's Trolley Troubles. Disney produced a series of 27 Oswald cartoons before losing the rights to his distributor, Charles Mintz and Universal Pictures. This swindle would eventually lead to the creation of Disney's now icon Mickey Mouse. Oswald would later go on to live an incredibly fruitful life at Universal, where his series of more than 140 cartoons was produced by Woody Woodpecker creator Walter Lantz. Disney regained the rights to Oswald in 2006, when then-new Disney CEO Bob Iger led a crusade to return the character home. While Oswald was used heavily in the epic Mickey games, appeared in a Japanese digital Christmas card cartoon in 2013, and has a presence at Disney's California Adventure Park, he's been very absent on screen for the best part of the last decade and a half. Disney released their first traditionally animated Oswald cartoon in nearly 95 years back in 2022, and throughout the year featured the character in various brand collabs, including with Givenchy and LG, and additionally featured him on banners for the 2022 D23 Expo, which celebrated the studio's 100 Years of Wonder. It's very possible that this was Disney's attempt to test the waters for the old scamp's return. And while I do like the idea of a hybrid series, I do wish we'd been given some more traditionally animated Oswald cartoons like that one from 2022. It was incredibly fun. This news comes just days after it was revealed that Disney Animation were pulling out of Disney Plus programming and have cancelled the in-production Princess and the Frog series, Tiana. But it is worth noting again that the Oswald series is being produced by Disney's motion picture arm, Walt Disney Studios, not Walt Disney Animation. You may recall around a month ago, news came out that Disney were being sued $10 billion in damages for allegedly ripping off the idea for Moana, the multi-billion-dollar earning Walt Disney Animation franchise. In the Woodall v Disney suit, filed on Friday 10th of January 2025, Buck Woodall, described in suit documents as a professional writer as well as a producer and artist, claimed copyright infringement over a treatment he put together for a film titled Bucky in the early 2000s. Woodall claimed he shared details of the project, including a completed screenplay, a trailer, and various pieces of artwork with Jenny Marchik, then Director of Development at Mandeville Films, who had a first look deal with Disney at the time. The complaint stated that Disney's Moana 1 was produced in the wake of Woodall's delivery to the defendants of virtually all constituent parts necessary for its development and production after more than 17 years of inspiration and work on his animated film project, with titles over the years ranging from Bucky to Bucky the Wave Warrior. This project was inspired by Woodall's unique exposure to Polynesian culture, including living on Hanalei Bay for approximately a decade, as well as his expenditure of more than $500,000 in personally creating, writing and developing a theatrical motion picture package associated with Bucky. Suit documents alleged that Moana depicted similarities to the trade secrets and intellectual property of Woodall's presentation package materials that are extraordinarily stark and greater than most every reported example of copyright infringement in US history. Woodall claimed that both Bucky and Moana tell the story about a teenager who defies parental warnings and embarks on a dangerous voyage across Polynesian waters to save the endangered land of a Polynesian island, celebrate the Polynesian people's unfettered access to the sea as a native right, involve protagonists who learn about ancient Polynesian culture during a sea voyage, contain a recurring theme of the Polynesian belief in spiritual ancestors manifested as animals which guide and guard the living, involve plots where a symbolic necklace plays a special role, involve a main character who encounters a demigod with a giant hook and tattoos, and a goddess-like creature emanating from volcanic lava, amongst many others. Now, news has arisen that the Woodall v Disney case has been held, resulting in a swift victory for the Mouse House. The Associated Press reported that a jury on Monday quickly and completely rejected a man's claim that Disney's Moana was stolen from his story of a young surfer in Hawaii, and that the Los Angeles federal jury deliberated for only about 2.5 hours before deciding that the creators of Moana never had access to writer and animator Buck Woodall's outlines and script for Bucky the Surfer Boy. With that question settled, the jury of 6 women and 2 men didn't even have to consider the similarities between Bucky and Disney's 2016 hit animated film about a questing Polynesian princess. Associated Press further notes that the relatively young jury watched Moana in its entirety in the courtroom. They considered a story outline that Woodall created for Bucky in 2003, along with a 2008 update and a 2011 script. In the latter versions of the story, the title character, vacationing in Hawaii with his parents, befriends a group of native Hawaiian youth and goes on a quest that includes time travel to the ancient islands and interactions with demigods to save a sacred site from a developer. Marchik, the creative that Woodall showed his treatment to, as it turns out, is a distant relative, the stepsister of his brother's wife. The Associated Press noted that the woman testified during the 2-week trial that she never showed it to anyone at Disney. Woodall, however, doesn't look to be giving up, with his attorney noting, "Obviously we're disappointed. We're going to review our options and think about the best path forward." Still adamant that there was no Moana without Bucky. This is Woodall's second unsuccessful attempt to sue Disney over the issue. His first attempt to sue over Moana 1 fell outside of the statute of limitations, with this second lawsuit being a clear attempt to capitalise on the $1 billion success of Moana 2. Thanks for joining me for another Cartoon News Roundup. What stories were you most excited to hear this week, and what are you hoping to hear in the upcoming news? As always, join the conversation down below.